Hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm Jeanette, I'm the Project Junkie. Today's lesson is lesson 3 of Learn to Crochet, and today we're making granny squares. And something you can make into other things. It's super easy instructions, slow step by step. You can do it, so let's get into the video. For this lesson, you're going to need a pair of scissors, your crochet hook. This is a 4mm, my favorite, that's very worn. And you may possibly want a darning needle, and I use the bent tip. The yarn I'm using today is Bernat Maker, and this is the clay color. And it's new, I've never used it before, but I thought it might be easier to learn with. Acrylic yarn has a tendency to split, and that makes it hard when you're learning to catch the entire piece of yarn instead of just little strands of it. So I thought this would be pretty neat to try. I think it's about $10 a skein at Joann's, but it is also a number 5 bulky, just like the Posh yarn that I usually use. I love that Posh yarn. It's also recommending an 8mm hook. I'm using a 4. I judge by looking here if I can grab the whole piece of yarn in that hook. That's usually how I judge what size crochet hook to use. A 5mm would work fairly well. My 4mm, it's still my favorite. So today we're using this, and it's more of a t-shirt yarn. It is 72% cotton and 28% nylon. So it does have some stretch to it. I think whenever you're learning to do something, instead of just practicing stitches, it's more fun to make something. So as I promised in the last video, I'm going to show you how to make a basic granny square. And this is just a complete basic. There are all kinds of variations. Granny squares that look great on purses. There are just so many things that you can do with the granny square. But this is just going to be the basic granny square. And to do that, we're going to start with a slip knot. And then we're going to chain 5. And we're going to attach those, and just take this, insert your hook close to where the knot is. And we're going to yarn over and pull through those 2 loops, and that makes a circle. See that? Just makes that little circle. For the row 2 of our granny square, we're going to begin by chaining 2, and then we're going to do double crochets. So yarn over and insert your hook right into the middle of that circle you just made. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Now this becomes your first double crochet, and then your second double crochet. And we are going to put 12 into this circle. So yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, so you have 3 double crochets now. Well, we want to start turning this into a square, and you can do this at any point. There are so many different kinds. I'm just going to show you a couple of the basic ones. So you start with 3, and then we're going to chain 2. And then yarn over, back into the center of that circle you made, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. We're going to make 3 more double crochets that way. So there's 1, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, so there's 3. Now we're going to chain 2, and we're going to yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop, pull through 2. We're going to do 3 more double crochets. Here's your 3 more. Now we're going to chain 2 and do our last 3 double crochets, and it gets a little tight in there, but it'll all work out just fine. Then for the last part, you chain 2. At the top of this chain that you first did, you're going to hook those 2 loops and just hook those together with a slip stitch. And that's what it looks like. So then we're going to chain 2. And we're going to make another double crochet, and this time we're going to do it in the next stitch. We're going to pull up those 2 loops. We're going to yarn over, insert the hook between those 2 loops, right under those 2 loops. Insert your hook right under those 2 loops. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So then we have 2 double crochets for our row 3. Now in this corner right here, we're going to repeat our pattern of 3 and 3. So we yarn over and go into this corner hole, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and we're just going to keep making double crochets until we have 3 in this corner. And then when you get 3 in the corner, chain 2 and put 3 more in the corner. And that makes the corner of your square. And then we're going to make another double crochet and go right under that next stitch, pulling up, going under both loops. We're going to pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2, pull through 2. And this is where I'm going through. This is the next stitch. You can see this stitch right here, going right under those 2 and grabbing both of those loops. Now you can grab the front one or the back one, and it changes how it looks on the front and on the back. So I am grabbing both loops for this row, and the next row I will show you what it looks like when you grab just the back loop. But for this row, we're going to continue just like we're doing, and we're going to go into the corner now, and we're going to put 6 double crochets in this corner, and don't forget to chain 2 after the first 3. So we're going to put 3 double crochets in the corner, chain 2, 3 more double crochets. Just like that. So now you've got 2 corners. So to continue on, we're going to use the stitches now because we're back to the sides. So we're going to use the top 2 stitches and make our double crochet there. Yarn over, use those top 2 stitches and make our double crochet there. And we're back to the corner. So we'll do 3 double crochets in this corner, and we're going to chain 2, all right, so now we have 3 corners. Back to using the top stitches, yarn over and insert your hook right under those 2 loops and make your double crochet right there. And here we are at the corner. We're going to make 3 more double crochets into this corner. chain 2, and 3 more double crochets. And we're going to hook this right into the top of that chain right there. And just make a slip stitch there. Now, this is a controversial thing, but you have these tails. And if you don't do something with them fairly soon, it just kind of gets in the way, and then it's kind of dreaded to have to put to hide all your tails. But what I do is I just thread my darning needle, and then I go right around under these stitches right here in that circle, and I crochet tight enough that it's sometimes hard to get through there. And you can actually crochet this tail in as you're doing that circle, which is kind of a lot easier than doing this. I'll show you that on the next one. And I just work this around into that center until it's gone quite a ways around, and then I just trim it off real close to my stitches, being careful not to cut those stitches, to see how much neater that looks without that tail in the center. Okay, for the next row, we are going to use the back loop, and I'll show you what kind of design that makes. And we're just going to keep making this full type of granny square. So for row 1, okay, your ring is 1, then this is 2 and 3. So for the 4th row, we're going to chain 2 and yarn over, and then we're only going to grab the back loop. You see this V here for all of these stitches. This is the back loop, this is the front loop. We're going to use this back loop here, and I'll show you what kind of design that makes. So you chain 2, yarn over, and go into that back loop only. Just split that V and grab that back loop only. Insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. We are going to do that for all of the stitches on this round. So yarn over into that back loop only, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2. So then yarn over, insert into that back loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, pull through 2, pull through 2. And here we are back at the corner. So now we're going to take all of it, and we're going to make our 6 double crochets in this corner, remembering to put the 2 chains between them. So now we've got 3. We're going to put 2 chains and 3 more double crochet. Just like that. Now we're going to yarn over and go into that back loop, pull up a loop, we're going to keep going down the whole side of this. Using that back loop. Now we're here to the corner. Do our 3 double crochets. And our chain 2, Our 3 double crochets. And that is a very, very basic granny square. Now you can work this tail in just like the other, and I usually use the chain up here when I'm working them in through the top. And that is a very basic granny square. When we went into the back loop, it created this rope design. On the back, you can tell where you have wrapped your stitches. And it's kind of got this knobby look on the back of it. And that's how you can tell that it is the back, because the front is nice and neat, and the back is kind of everywhere actually. We're going to do the next granny square with the same type of yarn. This one we're going to use the Bernat Maker in the soft peach, which I would have said that was more of a pink. Sure don't look orange to me, but it says soft peach. Okay, for this one we're going to make like a medallion type center. We're going to start with a slip knot, same as before, and we're going to make 5 chains. And hook those right there at the knot, just like the last one. With a slip knot, we're going to chain 2, and we're going to make double crochets into this circle that we have made right here. Chain 2, yarn over, insert your hook into the center of that hole, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2. I'm going to show you how to crochet this tail in. So yarn over, insert your hook, and you've got your tail lined up with your circle, and just hold that on there and wrap this yarn, when you yarn over, around both the tail and that circle. Make your double crochet. Now we're not going to put the chain 2 in the middle this time. We're just going to keep making these double crochets, keep that tail right in there, keep wrapping our double crochet stitches right around that tail. See how that's in there? You don't have to go back and hide it if you do it this way. And we're just going to make as many double crochets into this as it will hold and lay flat. Get around to the edge. After you've sewed this, crocheted this in, you can just snip that little tail off and keep going. We're going to put 20 double crochets into this. And remember, this chain here counts as 1. And you can count these because you can count the post, because this is the post of the stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. And that chain counts as 19. It counts as a stitch. So we need 1 more stitch in here to make 20 stitches. And the reason I chose 20 is because I want it divisible by 4, because I want to end up with a square. So I get to this part and I'm taking the top of that chain And I'm going to slip stitch into the top of that chain to close up my medallion. And here's the medallion. So now we're going to start the second row. And we're going to chain 2. For row 3, we're going to take both loops, and this counts as a stitch, and insert your hook right there to the next stitch. And we're making double crochets here. And we want 5 of these because we made 20 into the middle. So we can divide that by 4. Double crochets, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Into this stitch, this 5th stitch, we're going to put 2 more double crochets so that we have our 3. We have 3 double crochets in that stitch. And then we're going to chain 2, and we're going to put 3 into the next stitch. And that will make our corner. And then we're going to go into the next 3 stitches with just 1 double crochet. And in the next stitch, we're going to put 3 double crochets into that stitch to make our corner. And then we're going to chain 2. And in the next stitch, we're going to put 3 double crochets. And then we're going to double crochet in the next 3 stitches with just 1 double crochet in each stitch. And then in the next stitch, we're going to put 3 double crochets. Chain 2 for our corner, and then 3 double crochets. And then we're going to double crochet the next 3. And now we're down to the last 2 stitches. So we're going to do 3 double crochets in the next stitch. Then we're going to chain 2. And in this stitch, we're only going to put 2 double crochets because we started with chaining. Now we're going to hook that together right up there at the top with a slip stitch, just like that. We've got our square, and we're going to do 1 more row. So on this row, we're going to make up something a little bit different. And this will be the 3rd one, so we're going to chain 2. We're going to put a double crochet in the next stitch, and then a double crochet in the next stitch, and then a double crochet in the next stitch. So we have 2 stitches over here And we'll have 2 stitches over here, so we need 1 more double crochet. And then we're going to chain 2. And then we're going to put a double crochet in this corner. Like that. We're going to do 3, just like the other. 3, and then chain 2. Just like that. Then we're going to chain 2, do a double crochet, and we're going to skip these 2 stitches and put it in this one. And we'll do double crochets all down this side. We're going to chain 2 and double crochet into the corner. We're going to put 3 double crochets. Three double crochets, chain 2, and 3 double crochets. And then we're going to chain 2, and we're going to skip these next 2 stitches. We're going to yarn over and put into the next stitch. We go until we have 2 left before that center, and then we're going to chain 2, and then we're going to put our 3 double crochets in the center. Chain 2 and 3 more double crochets. Then we're going to chain 2 and skip the next 2 stitches. You get over here to where there's just 2 before the corner, chain 2, and then put your 6 in the center. Then you get finished with those 3. You've got 2 here, so you chain 2 and attach to the top of this chain that you first made for this row. This granny square is just a bit bigger than this one. And there is that kind of a granny square. So let's just do one more. I'm going to use the 5mm hook. This one's just a little bit bigger. And we're going to start the same way. We're going to make 5 chains, hook into the first one, like this. And then we're going to chain 2, and we're going to work right back into the center of this with a double crochet. We're going to do similar to this. I'm going to use this a little bit looser, so I'm going to put 3 in the corner this time. Chain 3 in the corner instead of 2. Mainly because I'm using a little bit less tension, the bigger crochet hook, so I want everything to be a uniform tension. We're chaining 3 in the corner this time. And that'll be it for the first round of stitches for this one. Now, since I worked that tail in, I'm going to trim that off right there. And we're going to switch colors of yarn. So we're going to go back to the gray. And you take this gray and just lay it over your hook like this and pull it up. And then grab the working side and pull it up like this. And don't worry about those tails. I'll show you how to take care of those in a minute. So now we're going to turn it and we're going to go back this way. So as you turn it, and now this is where you started at the back, or 6 double crochets into the corner, just like before. And that chain counted as 1, chain 3, six double crochet. Now we're going to chain 3 more. And we're going to go straight into this corner over here with our next 3 double crochets. Three in the corner of the chains, and then 3 more double crochets. We're going to chain 3 more, and there's 6 double crochets in the corner. Okay, now let's take care of those tails before they get in our way. Now I like to knot them just to make sure they don't come out. And you can knot them just like this, and then you can hide the tail into the color of yarn that you have. Take this color tail and pull it down through these, and I put it right up through that chain. So now we are back to this round. This is chain 3. And right into the corner with our 3 more double crochets. Chain 3, 3 more double crochets. Okay, and now we have these 3 that we counted for this corner. I'm going to hook that into that corner and do a slip stitch like this. And we're going to switch colors again back to the pink. You've got your loop. You lay the yarn over your hook and pull it through this loop, and then switch it in the back. Hold this tail and use the new color we are going to turn back around and go back the other direction. So into this center hole now we're going to put 2 more double crochets. Then chain 3, and we'll put 6 single crochets into the corner just like before with a chain in the middle. You need to tie this in a square knot so that it does not come out. Trim that close. This is what we've got. We're going to chain 3 and do 3 double crochet into this middle. We're going to chain 3 and do 3 double crochet, 3 chain stitches, and 3 double crochet. Chain 3, 3 double crochet into this section. If you don't like this loose, you can just chain 2 here, and that will tighten it up a little bit. Chain 2 in the in-betweens. Go to the corners. Back to 3 and 3. slip stitch them together. I like to close it up. And there you have a very airy type granny square. Tail sticking out here. Okay, so that there is 3 different basic kinds of granny squares. So I'm going to show you how to sew these together. Now when you go to sew these together and you have your granny squares, you want to make sure they're all the same size, because these won't fit very well when you are sewing them together if they're not the same size or the same number of stitches. Then you can sew them together with a whip stitch. A whip stitch is just whip stitching them, and then when you open them you have this mark design in the middle, and this one is you're just grabbing one loop from each side and you're whip stitching it this way. Now if you're using the same color of yarn, this is going to be very difficult to see. This is just going from stitch to stitch, picking up that loop, that front loop. I don't pick up both of them, but I just pick up the front loop from each side. There are so many different ways that you can hook these together. Now I like this way because it keeps my work flat and neat. But if you want the different textures in there, different colors, it's your project. Make it however you like. All right, I hope this has helped you. The next video will be how to do some basic amigurumi. And that is the Japanese term for crocheted toys. They're so much fun to make. See you next time.